Did you know that in the Saints Row reboot, you can find graffiti on a wall that says Eli Jenkins? This is a reference to this famous World of Warcraft clip from all the way back in 2005.
Well, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we take a look at the latest and not so latest Easter eggs found in video games. So when it released 4 years ago, Zombie Army 4 Dead War featured in these videos a ton. The game had loads of cool Easter eggs and secrets, and I thought that I'd pretty much covered them all. But it turns out I was wrong. Now, a lot of the Easter eggs in Zombie Army 4 feature these creepy porcelain dolls, and the first Easter egg for today's video is no different. On the meat locker level, you can find a shooting range, and if you aim down range, this will happen. So, shooting the doll at the end of the range will cause a bunch of other dolls to appear, which you can also shoot. However, there are 3 dolls on the shelf that won't disappear when shot, instead choosing to hold up their own heads. Now, I'm currently planning a video where I look at some unexplained Easter eggs in games, and I was tempted to feature the Zombie Army dolls in that video, because as far as I know, they are never actually explained. But to be honest, I think the only reason they're in the game is because they're creepy. The next Zombie Army 4 Easter egg also features a doll, and once again, it's not alone. On the Gates of Hell level, you can find this. So for some reason, one of the dolls is riding in a boat with a hand. Unlike other dolls in the game, shooting this doll doesn't do anything, and if you shoot both the doll and the hand, the boat will just sink, which is kind of underwhelming. The final Zombie Army 4 Easter egg is dangerously close to becoming an overused Easter egg, but I don't think we're quite there yet. On the communication breakdown level, you can find this. So inside of this shed is a saw and a head in a vice, which is of course a reference to the Evil Dead 2. I mean, I personally don't think this is quite at the overused level just yet, but if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Right, it's now time for our Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week, the segment where we take a look at one Easter egg that has been referenced to death in video games. Today's Easter egg can be found in Walking Simulator Return to Grace. When exploring the apartments, you can find this.
Some weird little lavatory.
They've changed much over the years.
Not really. I've seen weirder. I've seen ones where people sat on ceramic bowls of water.
If they pooped in the water, what did they drink?
So the 3 seashells are a reference to the way that we will all apparently be cleaning our rear ends in the future. Well, according to the excellent Sylvester Stallone movie, Demolition Man.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells.
Be sure to join me next time for another Overused Video Game Easter Egg of the Week. So, Cyberpunk 2077 has featured a bunch on this channel. And with good reason, it's packed with cool Easter eggs and hidden details. The thing is, CD Projekt Red are constantly adding new secrets to the game with each update, and that's where we can find today's Easter egg. Or at least I think it is. If you climb to the top of Tom's Diner, you will find a pair of binoculars, and if you look through them and at the CD Projekt Red logo, eventually this will happen. So after waiting a few seconds, a picture of the CD Projekt team will appear on the screen. Now, I said that this was added in a recent update, but according to this tweet from the global community director for CD Projekt Red, he was surprised that this Easter egg hadn't been found until now, which makes me think that it's been in the game a lot longer than I think. Now, Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 is exactly what you expect it to be. It's a game where you run a garage and try to make a living restoring and repairing cars. Like most simulator games, it's not long before the loop of buying, fixing and selling becomes extremely addictive. Now, you're not confined to the four walls of your workshop, and you can freely explore the surrounding area. And that's where we can find an Easter egg. Outside of the garage near the phone booth, you can find this. So we can find a bench dedicated to Christian Radoszewski, a 3D artist who worked on Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 and sadly passed away that same year. Now, when it comes to video game enemies, the grunts from the Halo series have to be some of the funniest around. Harmless alone and just as harmless in a group, grunts will more often than not run away from Master Chief and his allies. Well, I might have found a reason why. If you play the All Secrets level in Halo 4's Spartan Ops mode on Legendary and shoot this speaker, you can find out what the grunts get up to behind the scenes. So it seems that the grunts would rather dance with each other than fight in a war. And with moves like this, who can really blame them? Now, imagine you're playing a game, and the game says something about you that it really shouldn't know. Even if you thought it was just a coincidence, it's enough to make you feel at least a little creeped out. Well, if you're Markiplier, or were born on June 28th, you don't need to imagine. In Chapter 2, if you press the button on the cardboard cutout, it will say this.
I know when your birthday is. June 28th.
So the date that the cutout mentioned, June 28th, is the birthday of Markiplier. And this was his reaction when he realised.
I know when your birthday is. June 28th.
Okay, alright. Well, I'm assuming that you just Googled that because that's pretty public information.
I mean, I suppose that there is a chance that this was random, but I'm guessing the Poppy Playtime devs saw a chance to mess with Mark and took it. Now, most Easter eggs are found within a couple of weeks of a game's launch, but sometimes an Easter egg can go unnoticed for years. And that's what happened with the Futurama game on the PS2. So when I first heard about this Easter egg, I couldn't believe that it had never been found. I mean, it's in the first level of the game, but after following the steps to actually unlock it, I can kind of understand why. During the game's first level, you must collect the hammer, which you need to do anyway to progress. Then you need to head to the boiler room and grab the money on the table. After that, break the glass in front of the fire extinguisher, but don't pick it up, which the game does automatically by the way, so be careful. Head to the lab and open the drawer to collect another $1, before using the elevator and collecting the $4 on the table, meaning you now have $7. Finally, smash the TV in the break room, at which point a sound will play and this will happen. So following these steps reveals a literal giant Easter egg. Now, I think that this Easter egg remained unfound for so long simply because the steps are so random. The fact that you need to have exactly $7 for this to work when it's easy to find more than $7, and the fact that you can't pick up the fire extinguisher even though it's a mission objective, meant that people couldn't accidentally stumble on this Easter egg like they might do in other games. So that's it. The unexplained Easter egg video that I mentioned earlier in the video is still in the planning stage, as in I'm thinking of Easter eggs that fit the bill. So if you can think of any that may be worth including, then please let me know. As always, a big thank you for watching my videos and being a part of this community, and as always, I'll speak to you all soon.